Hi, I'm here with Huang, the author of Living Treasures. Can you please tell us what happens in the story?
Yes. In 1989, during the tumultuous Tiananmen Square protest, Miss Gu Bao, a law student, is in love with her handsome soldier boyfriend. After she gets pregnant, she succumbs to the parental pressure to have a secret abortion. Then she goes to her grandparents' house in the countryside. There she meets Mrs. Orchid, a village woman hiding from the one-child policy enforcers. Bao risks her own life to protect Orchid from forced abortion.
So this novel is both vivid and gripping. It's full of surprises, and it's really not what it seems at first. And so, how did you plot the story? And especially the first scene opens with a panda eating a chicken. Aren't pandas herbivores?
Mostly, 99% of the time. I was fascinated with giant pandas. I set out to write a story about the panda. Through my research, I found out that panda is bear with a digestive system of carnivore. Pandas in the wild occasionally eat the fish, mice, or birds if they can catch them. I also learned about the mudslide and earthquake that happened in Sichuan province in 1976. On top of that, bamboos dived after mass flowering and caused pandas to starve. Living Treasures begins with a panda mother eating a chicken in order to survive the winter and nurse a cub. In this world, pandas and people look to each other for inspiration and support, persevere, and thrive in a harsh environment. The story goes on to show that people, like the pandas, are the living treasures of China.
So the first half of the story is about Bao facing her dilemma as a university student, and the second half is about her in the countryside. So, why did you divide the story into these two parts?
China is a vast and diverse country. At the beginning, Bao lives a sheltered life. She succumbs to the parental pressure to have a secret abortion. Then she goes to the countryside, lives with her grandparents, tends to the bees, and makes new friends with farmers. Bao grows from a naive student to become an independent woman who stands up to the bully.
So there's a lot of rich details, with the mountains and the village and the people and the food, and it all seems very authentic. Was this based on a true story? Is this autobiographical?
Well, I lived through that time and knew that world intimately. Bao was more courageous than me and my friends. My life was boring, so I made Bao's story exciting. Later I learned all the events happened to real people in China, but I personally didn't know of anyone who experienced Bao's ordeal.
So you do talk about, grass people a few times in the novel. And so are you referring to commoners or farmers? And is Mrs. Orchid one of these grass people?
She is, and so are Bao, her parents and grandparents. In China, more than 99% people have no political power. Their voting rights are mere sham, for they can only vote for the pre-selected candidates. Grass people are not just commoners or farmers. They include the middle class, successful entrepreneurs, doctors, teachers. Even the affluent people don't have the political power. This mass of humanity is humble and resilient like prairie grass.
Would you say this is about pro-life or pro-choice?
Well, Bao is a woman with strong convictions. She wants to keep her baby, and she wants Orchid to be able to keep her baby. Bao is against the political doctrine, the rigid one-child policy. China has a fifth of the world's population, so family planning is necessary to prevent catastrophic overpopulation. Even in this environment, Bao thinks women should be able to make their own decisions. The terms pro-life and pro-choice refer to the political movements. Bao, like many people in China, has seen their share of political movements that lead to government's corruption and abuse of power. Bao opposes the political pragmatism that victimizes women.
Okay, so in the book, we meet the villain, Childless Du. And so how did you depict this chilling character?
Initially, I made the villain a cruel, evil person, but he seemed one-dimensional. During the revision, I worked hard to make him a smart person with a sharp economic sense about his own place in the world. he outwits all the naive people. What makes him bad is his shrewdness, his naked ambition, and his single-minded determination to carry the policy by victimizing women.
I didn't expect the book to turn into a thriller at the end, and so, what goes terribly wrong for Bao?
At the heart of a tragedy is a metaphor for Tiananmen Square massacre. It took me 20 years of soul-searching to find a story that captures a fateful moment. Like the students in the square, Bao cannot foresee the swift crackdown on her selfless act of heroism.
So how difficult was it for you to tell this kind of harrowing story? I know English isn't your first language. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. I grew up in China. At school, we were taught what to think and how to feel. So when I wrote in Chinese, I felt the internal censorship that forces me to use euphemisms, symbols, and riddles to tell a story with political implications. I didn't want to write like a dissident. I want to be a storyteller. I came to the United States in 1990, and I always enjoyed the conversations between different cultures. I decided to overcome my language barrier and write in English so I don't have to tiptoe around my internal censorship.
Wow. So, I know you work as an engineer, and so how would you say your work informs your writing?
I had a BS in computer science, MA English, and MFA in creative writing. As a writer, I have a rather optimistic worldview. I like to tackle big social problems in my fiction, put my characters under the test, let them suffer, and in the darkest and most despairing hours, let them use ingenuity, much like an engineer, find some sort of relief or solution, not a cure-all, but a way out, so that they can move forward to rebuild their lives.
Wonderful. I really enjoyed the book, and we look forward to reading more.
Thank you so much, Eric. I'll try to work hard.
Great.